welcome back. So in this summit, we're talking all about love and how to flourish in your sacred union while ascending in consciousness. So spiritual ascension can really alter the way that we look at love and also what we need in our partnerships. And ascension can definitely often feel quite disruptive on a physical and emotional level whilst we go through lots of healing, which of course is normally triggered by the very relationships that we're in, which is most useful. So today we're going to be speaking about this and more as I re-welcome back one of our incredible speakers who appeared on season 2, Raquel Spencer, who is a spiritual catalyst and a transformational visionary and leader. So Raquel, welcome back to season number 3.
It's so good to be back. Hello, everyone.
It's amazing to have you back. And yeah, just for the viewers, Raquel and I have been, I have been trying to calm myself down because Raquel's had me laughing so much just in our pre-call that I got a bit too excited for our interview. So, but there may be some more laughter to come. We shall see. Hopefully there will be.
I hope so.
Yeah, we like laughing. We're going to raise everybody's frequency.
You bet.
So let's talk about love. And it's actually great that we're having a bit of a laugh because it can be a very serious topic. And I would like to start, Raquel, by asking you, what is your view on whether we need to be in a relationship in order to accelerate our ascension process? Is it necessary?
No. Short answer, no. Because my belief, my philosophy, my understanding is when we talk about sacred union, we're talking about the union with self, okay? The union with you here in the physical and you as a divine being of light. That doesn't have anything to do with a love partner physical in this reality. The sacred union that we talk about, that is truly my definition of a sacred union, and there's lots of definitions, but the sacred union that we talk about with ascension is about that relationship with yourself and with source energy. That's the sacred union. And a lot of people, when you think about sacred union and when you think about sacred relationship, they assume that it means a partner, someone else in the physical reality, someone here, a lover, a husband, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever that is. And that can be a beautiful way to reflect back to you what true sacred union is. But when it comes down to it, it's all about the relationship with you and the divine.
Mm. So your ascension process has certainly not been affected, slowed down in any way, has it, Raquel? Because I believe you've been single for a little while now.
Yeah, I have not been in relationship. When I took this mission on, after the coma,
yeah.
when I came in, I have not been swayed off my path through any kind of relationship. And that's not to say that relationship isn't a good learning path and a good way to do that. There's just quite a few of us on the planet who that's not in the game plan. That's not what we came in to learn. A lot of people learn through relationship. They learn through that partnership. Mm-hmm. And most of the time it's partnership with a lover that you get very deep in, versus just friendships, partnerships in other forms. There's all ways to learn. But many of us in the spiritual, that are part of the spiritual group or the soul group that have come in, that isn't in the game plan. We've already learned those lessons. We've already been through that process before, and it's not something we have to repeat this time around. So I know that there's a lot of people who are single, who are on the path. And here's my here's my, I may rattle some feathers with this, you know that. Here's my,
I'm just waiting. I'm waiting.
Here's my take on this.
Yeah.
Many, especially my clients, people I've worked with for years and years, they have been in relationships where the partner can simply not accelerate with them. They're not growing at the same rate. They can't, the relationship that they had prior to awakening was okay because they were both asleep.
Yeah.
Nobody was paying attention. The process and the expansion and the growth were not happening yet. And a lot of my clients started to wake up and their partners didn't. And their partners weren't willing, weren't ready, weren't a part of the process, and weren't wanting to go through that process of awakening. And there's also quite a few, it's interesting, there's quite a few people who are on the ascension path who have, and quite frankly, I'm going to talk to the women because it's mostly women who are waking up right now. I mean, as a general consensus, 80% of my clients are women, 20% are men. So as a general rule, I'm just going to talk to this. A lot of women who are waking up, who are in partnership. Also, this is interesting. I didn't know we were going to go here. Sorry, I'm already off on a tangent with you. But many of them have loving husbands. And then again, I'm going to say just that's because of the greater number, have loving husbands who are not waking up, but they are there to fully support the women in doing what their heart desires. And a lot of women don't think that's enough. I have a lot of clients who are like, but my husband isn't waking up. Well, is he supporting you? Does he foo-foo? No, he thinks what I'm doing is great. Wonderful. He supports me to go back to school and get this or that, or he supports me to help, it says I can go do my healing work and whatever, and he supports me in doing that. And yet they're frustrated because the partner isn't waking up. And so, I have to caution them. It's like so many people are like, I want to be on my own. I want to be on my own. I don't want to be in this relationship. I don't want to be in this partnership. They're not waking up. But is that partner actually supporting your awakening? Is that the contract they came in on to help you do that? I've had lots of clients and women who were in relationships that were and they started to wake up and the partner didn't. And I mean, I tell it like it is, Ariel. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I tell it like
holding space.
But
I love it.
I have, I know so many people and so many clients who have left. Now, people who are in bad relationships, this doesn't apply. But I know people who have left safe, secure homes, husbands who love them, comfort, to go because they thought they had to be on this spiritual quest and be out on their own and go do their life's work. And then they leave a relationship they've never worked. They can't support themselves. They can't make a living at what they thought they were going to do. And they end up in a really not good place because they didn't recognize the role that their partner was playing. They may not be waking up, but they are supporting you in the process. That could be their contract. That's why they came in.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't really, I'm getting totally, people need to hear this. Woo! I'm getting lit up right and left because yes, everyone wants someone to share that journey with and wake up at the same time, but nobody wakes up at the same time. Everybody is on their own individualized journey. And just because you're in a physical relationship with someone doesn't mean that they're going to get triggered and activated at the same time that you are. They may be 10 steps behind. And you have to really to stop and look at how are the roles playing? Are you being thwarted? if you stay in this relationship? Do you really need to move out of it to blossom? Or is this the perfect union for what you have right now? And they're not a part of your awakening, they're a part of your support system.
Yeah, these are really important points. These are
I can't tell you how many women I know that have, I'm awakening, my husband's not, he's a good guy, but I want more. I'm going to go out and be my own person. And they have no skill set, no money, no way to make a living, no anything. And they jump and they leave because this partner isn't spiritual enough for them. And they fall flat on their ass.
This is such a highly important topic that we're discussing now, because I've also seen this happen a lot.
It just breaks my heart, because the partnership, you have to really look at what was the contract. I'm not talking you got married or you're in a partnership now. I'm talking about the spiritual contract. Is that partner there to purely support you so that you can be the highest frequency and do the highest level of work while still being with that partner?
You know what? Awakening, it just like throws everything up in the air though, doesn't it? Because a lot of women, you know, particularly with the history of patriarchy on this planet, when we go through the awakening process, it can feel very empowering for
Absolutely.
us. And so it should do, because all this.
And it's a high. It's a high. It feels fabulous.
Yeah. And it feels like, okay, now I found something. Now I found a groove. Now I found something that I can get my teeth. Now I found something as a female that I can be an expert in, and, you know, using the intuition. So we can see like why these women jump and why, you know, loads of stuff comes up to them. But yeah, it's kind of like jumping before the integrations happened.
Well, and here's the thing. Somewhere along the line, and I don't know where this happened, but somewhere along the line, there was a thought process that kind of got interwoven into spiritual awakening. That meant if you were awakening, that meant you had to go out and be on the forefront and, you know, do your spiritual work as a business. So many people have bought into that thought process, that if they're going to make a difference in the world, it has to be a business. They have to go out and be in the forefront for this. They want to, you know, healers and, you know, do all these beautiful things, which are fabulous, if that's really what you're meant to do. And if you really have the bandwidth and the resources and all of that. So many people, when they wake up, there is this massive, oh my gosh, I want to be out and change the world. Yeah. But that doesn't mean you have to go out and make a business doing it. That's where I think a lot of people, and this is kind of getting off the groove and path here in this talk, but so many people think, okay, now I got to become a healer. I gotta go and do all this study and remember all my healing practices and bring this into the world. And I say, yes, you do. It doesn't mean you have to do it as a full-time business. If you're in partnership, and this is what I found, so many that are in partnership and the husband doesn't wake up, but they do, and they want to go do their work. And for some reason, there's this disconnect that means that they have to go be on their own and do this for a full-time living and make this huge difference when they've never ran a business, when half of them have never even really worked full-time in the real world, because their role was being a mother, being married, being a mother, and waking up at this point in time and being a part of the global awakening. Mm-hmm. Now, I know this may be a small group of women that are listening to this, that this applies to right now, but it needed to be said. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have said it. And it's just step back when you're looking at that sacred union, okay? And again, sacred union, for a lot of people, they're thinking, oh, that's my husband, my lover, okay? To me, again, sacred union is not about that kind of union. It's about the union with you, your higher self, and source energy. That's the sacred union.
Mm-hmm.
The partnerships are a way to help you step into that union even more. And so if the partnership isn't working, that's one thing. But I see too many people who throw away a 20-year, 15-year, 30-year partnership because they're waking up and their partner isn't at the same rate.
It's so true. How long would you, I mean, from my own experience of, being in corporate for like 16 years and then 2015, going through this huge multi-dimensional awakening, everything changing. I mean, some of the experiences I still truly feel like I'm integrating now. And this is like, 4 years ago. I was saying, like, give it at least 2-3 years from the point that you go through that awakening before making any changes in the relationship, unless you've got like an abusive relationship.
Now that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Or someone who isn't supporting you in that process.
Yeah.
Someone who's foo-fooing it or saying you're crazy or not wanting to listen or if they're not supportive, that's a totally different story.
And even if they're not supportive, there might be things that can be done, right, to build bridges.
Right.
It's worth a try before jumping.
but the thing with the so many who are waking up are women.
Yeah.
And so many of the women who are, you came in with contracts to have partnerships that supported you while you went through this awakening process.
Yeah.
And you need to honor that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be at the same pace that you are.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Because waking up and being in a partnership doesn't mean to awaken, okay, is to understand that each of us is on our own unique journey. We are not here to push anyone into ascension or into awakening. Mm-hmm. We are here to be the living example of what it means to be awakened, mm-hmm. and to honor and love and support, mm-hmm. in that process.
Absolutely. And hold space, right? Because hold space for the transformation of the divine masculine. Because the women are now...
We don't know what the hell's hit the planet.
No.
They're so lost. I mean, the men really are very, very lost. And even the ones who are, on the cutting edge of what being a divine masculine is, they still... I mean, this is just the very beginning of even a level of consciousness to even begin to know how to be in this reality, to support the divine feminine coming in and still hold on to their divine masculine. They're in a huge learning curve.
Praise be to those, pioneers.
So there has to be a level of compassion and really step back. Again, I'm speaking more to women who have been in long-term marriages or relationships. Not necessarily the one that, you met him 6 months ago and gosh, he's not your ideal partner yet. Mm-hmm. But there has to be compassion and there has to be some willingness to allow them the space to catch up.
Yeah.
Without the judgment, without, I'm out of here, I'll see ya, you're not, we're not having this, mind-blowing sex that gets us to the Kundalini. I mean, you're not even willing. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot of pieces to this, okay? Sorry, I had to throw that in.
Right.
Because a lot of people, that's one of the things that they want in that relationship is someone to practice the Kundalini with and get that experience with. You don't have to have a partner to get the Kundalini experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. If you're putting that kind of pressure on the relationship to hurry up, come on, let's get that Kundalini going, because I want to feel that bliss, and everything, all our other problems are going to go out the window if we can get that going. I mean, there's just a lot of, how do I put this? Belief systems, about what a divine partnership is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And again, I bring it back to the divine partnership is never outside of yourself. Partnerships are outside of yourself that can touch the divine, but the true divine partnership is within.
And I think that's very refreshing, and thank you for being a champion of that within this summit, because there's people who I know who are watching this, and we've got a beautiful, of course, array of all different types of speakers who all have a different piece. But I can feel in my heart that there are people watching this who are like, okay, well, what about me? I'm not in a relationship. What happens if I never meet this incredible partner? And is that going to affect my ascension? And I think you're just a really great inspiration for them.
Absolutely not. Ascension is an inside job. I've said this from the first time I said anything decades ago. Ascension is an inside job. It is not dependent upon you having a partner lover by any means.
Which is,
that's a nice bonus if you can find someone who's at the exact same place that you are. I mean, I know people who have really powerful unions with partners, and that's fabulous, but damn, that's far and few between. So if that's the standard we're holding ourselves to be able to ascend, we're all screwed. Sorry. That's not it. And if you're hung up on that you need to have a partner to ascend, then you need to really come back into center and understand what awakening and ascension really is, because it's an inside job. It's the balancing of the divine masculine and the divine feminine within. It's the connection to your higher self and the divine essence that you are. That's the divine union.
Yeah. So for you, Raquel, so I totally get, I mean, you are here on a mission. That is the absolute reason why you've come to the planet, and what an incredible mission it is. And actually, I'm sure most people know you, but perhaps we might touch a bit more on your mission. That would be very cool. But do you still get the sense that you are learning through other relationships?
Oh God, yes. Relationships are a fabulous way to grow.
Yeah.
And one of the things that, I mean, if the only way you're not in a relationship on this planet is if you're a monk sitting up on the thing and the little thing all by yourself and blah. I mean, we're in so many different types of relationships, casual relationships, deep friendships. And one of the things that, unfortunately, I found, I have several friends that are lifetime friends that will always, always, always be there. And then there are people who come in, what's that old saying? You have friends for a lifetime, friends for a season.
Yeah.
There's lots and lots of people and relationships that come in for a season to help us learn and grow. And learning how to acknowledge the gifts, the learnings, the lessons that those friendships or partnerships provide, and learning how to stay somewhat detached from all of that as well, because people are going to come in and out of your life as you go through this process. And again, it might be the one you're in relationship with that needs to move out. But as you continue to grow on your path, You know, I love to go back. There's only one scene in the movie The Secret that I really remember. And that was the one in The Secret. Gosh, that's a decade ago now, I think, even more. But one of the scenes was talking about the zig and the zag. When you hold a certain frequency, only those that truly hold the same frequency can spend a significant amount of time in your fields.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, you can go to the grocery store, you can go to work, you can, you know, but when it comes to relationships and real friendships and relationships, if that person is not in resonance and not at the same frequency, if you met here and you've been friends and you've been friends and you've been friends, and then it's like this, and you raise consciousness and your frequency and your awareness and they don't,
yeah,
that friendship is going to drop away.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, again, the same thing happens with marriages, but marriages are a contract. That's much different than just a friend that comes in for a couple of years, or an acquaintance, or friendships. I just want to say, just partnerships of all kinds.
Yeah.
Because you'll find that the more that you are on this ascension path, the more that you raise your frequency and consciousness, the more you come into a state of self-love,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
where you are no longer willing to sacrifice, or are no longer willing to allow others to treat you in a particular way. Okay. And this is about the self-love. I mean, I have a lot of, for example, there are times when you can still love the person deeply, but you choose to no longer have that person in your reality because they're just not experiencing and doing a life that is cohesive with yours.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay? I can still love them. Love them, love them, love them. Doesn't mean I choose to spend time with them anymore. Because the way that they operate, the frequency that they're emitting, the way that they're approaching their life is no longer in alignment with what my life is showing.
Yeah.
So there are lots of times when we outgrow. Okay. And these are people that we don't have contracts, signed legal documents with. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they're business partners. Sometimes they're, people that you've said, yes, I'll do this project with.
Mm-hmm.
But there comes a point where, and this is another part of the sacred union. This is about honoring and self-love to a point where you no longer will allow someone to treat you in a way that is not aligned with your truth.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean you hate them. Doesn't mean you don't love them. It just means that you're making a conscious choice to not have that person in your experience anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And you allow them to go and continue to learn at their own pace what their trajectory is. And that's a deep one. That's really hard, because we tend to be people who like people. We like to be in partnerships and relationships and friendships. And when those dissolve because of the fact that you're no longer willing to accept the old reality, the old belief systems, the old ways that maybe at one time you were allowing people to treat you, but you've shifted to a point where that's no longer feeling appropriate anymore, that those relationships will move out of your fields if you allow them. And it's about, and then the real growth is, how did I handle that? Can I see, can I step above and really look at the situation? What was the lesson? What was the blessing?
Yeah.
What did I learn? What didn't I learn?
Yeah.
How, when that comes in the next time, because if you didn't learn it, it's going to come in again. We know this one, right?
Yeah.
With just a different face, a different player in our play.
Yeah.
Being able to really see that growth. And that's the self-love. That's the sacred union. When you no longer allow outside energies to bring down your frequency because of the way they are responding or treating.
It's so true. The conscious separation, and it just reminds me. I just had a little inner chuckle because I'm across the pond from you, right, in the UK. And when I was still asleep and I was in corporate and I just remember one day sort of reading one of these god awful sort of celebrity magazines about like couples in America, right? And I'd be reading about these celebrity couples who were saying, oh, we're going through this conscious divorce. And I remember like reading it and taking the mick out of them, like they're going through these conscious divorce. And now here I am, like 5 years later, a show host talking about conscious marriages and conscious couples. It's quite ironic, but yeah.
But it really does come back, for me, again, this whole divine union is the union within.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's the divine masculine and the divine feminine coming into balance.
Mm-hmm.
It's about learning when to take to action and when just to be. It's about honoring yourself enough to not allow those kinds of toxic relationships to happen anymore, and to stand on your own, in your own energy, knowing that that's not what you deserve, what you choose anymore.
Yeah.
And if there happens to be a partner that's at the same point that can move forward with you, fabulous. But your awakening, your ascension, your raising of consciousness, your raising of frequency is an inside job.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know that you have got, so you've mentioned toxic relationships, and I know that you've got a beautiful package to really help people sort of navigate through this minefield of ascension and relationships. And I'd love to talk about that. But before we do, and I know most of our viewers will know you, and certainly the ones from last season will remember a lot of your story, but could you just touch on what it is that you do in your specializations, because they are very special and cool.
Well, one of my key missions, one of my key gifts, if you will, is to help people rewire and reconnect to their own divine essence and to source energy. This is something that I have never studied in this reality. It's information that I stream direct. I've never studied with anybody. I've never been trained. This is just the skill set that I have, that I came in to do. And when I work with people, I see you as, and I use these terms because everybody gets it, okay? But I see you as a supercomputer. Your physical body and your energetic bodies are the hardware and the software. And I work with both aspects, but primarily with your hardware, your physical body, energetically, to help you reconnect to that part of yourself, that essence. If you think about, and I use this terminology, I've used it for years and years and years, and it really helps bring it home. But if you had like an old flip phone, okay, one of those old handheld wireless, phones, and you were trying to connect with 4G with that phone, it's supposed to make a phone call. You're supposed to be able to talk to somebody across the pond with that. But if you don't have the latest and greatest technology or something close to, you can't even connect into the 4G network. You can't. It's the hardware no longer operates at a level that will allow you to make that connection. Okay. Our bodies are the same way. We've been in atrophy. We have gone through, some people call it the fall, the disconnect. There's lots of different ways to describe that. But our bodies are no longer able to make the direct connection to our higher selves because of the atrophy the physical body's gone through over the last several thousand years. I came in specifically, one of my keys was to come in and help rewire, reconnect the hardware, your physical body, so that it can connect in with your divine essence, the software, the light codes, source energy, your multidimensional omnipresent self. And so what I am is an accelerator. They kind of call me, and you may not get this over in your neck of the woods, but in the US, there's something called the Geek Squad. This is where you take, when your computer doesn't work and you don't know why the hell your computer doesn't work, and you just want somebody to fix it, you take it to the Geek Squad. They go in the back end, they figure out what's wrong, and they give it back, and now you can do what you need to on your computer. Well, I'm kind of the human body Geek Squad because I have the capacity to go behind the scenes in the depths of the matrix that is you, and reconnect, rewire to the level that your consciousness can handle. Okay, so this is an ongoing process, because if we were to completely awaken right now, our personalities couldn't handle it. So we go through, just like you have, Windows or even the iPhones, iPhone 1, iPhone 2, iPhone 3, iPhone 6, iPhone X, iPhone, all the different iPhones, because we're continuously upshifting. And it's a beautiful analogy to what's going on. It's a reflection of what's going on with the human supercomputer as well. Remember when it used to be, 2 years before we'd have a new version come out. Now we're lucky if we have, 6 months.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. That's how quick our systems and our bodies are being asked to accelerate. And so I fast track that acceleration.
That's awesome.
One of the key skill sets that
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you for explaining it in that way as well. It's so clear. And I happen to know, after the last summit and the package that you offered and the Activate, I had so many people writing in and saying they were incredible.
Oh, fabulous.
So yeah, super powerful feedback. So what I'd love to do, because I absolutely, and this is kind of one of the reasons why we were chuckling at the start, I love the name of your offer. Could you perhaps talk us through what Ignite Your Personal Mojo is?
Ignite your personal mojo, baby. Yeah, this is, the name of the package, because it's all about really stepping into your own power. And for me, again, okay, how can I say this? Remember that it's an inside job. And there are several beautiful divine partnerships that you can have, but it's still an inside job. And the clearer and the more evolved and the higher frequency that you hold, the more you realize that the connection is always here. And I'm always pointing at my heart. It's right here. That divine union is right here. And so this particular package I put together is kind of apropos, I think, because what it really helps you do is move through. And again, what I'm doing in these activations, okay, I'm going behind the scenes and I'm taking out old programs. I'm taking out faulty wiring. I'm taking out loops. You know how when you get in a loop, when something gets in a loop and you can't get out of that loop. Okay, in the wiring of your system, in the way that the neural pathways work, a lot of times people are in those kinds of loops. So the work, these activations that I'm bringing to the table with this package, they go in and they rewire the back end. so that you don't have the same pathways, you don't have the same programs running, okay? So that you can upshift the way that you approach all relationships, whether it be a sexual one or a friendship or even family, okay? And so it goes in and it helps you clean the slate, if you will, from those old patterns that you have been, gosh, in all your life, because we were born into a lot of them, okay? So the Ignite Your Personal Mojo, here's the names of the actual activations. And, you know, it's always such a challenge to try to name these. But the first one is called Clearing Self-Sabotage. So the focus of that really is, you know, the self-sabotage you think you, I mean, and I'm just putting it in context of this particular summit and what we've been talking about, but the self-sabotage, do you think you're not enough by yourself? Why do you think you have to have a partnership to ascend? That's crazy. It is within you. It's all within you. It's an inside job. So some people have that self-sabotage. Oh, I'm not in a relationship. Oh, nobody loves me. Oh, I'm not worthy. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Let's get rid of those patterns. Okay? Let's get you out of that cycle that thinks that you need someone else to make you whole.
Yeah.
Okay? The second one in this package is called Repatterning Jealousy.
Wow, amazing.
Whether that's jealousy of lovers, of that's money, of that's leadership, or whatever that jealousy may be. Okay. Oh, they've got somebody and I don't, or their husband's better looking, or oh gosh, they have, you know, I won't even go there. So lots of things we could be jealous about that really are superficial.
Yeah.
So this helps to release those jealousy patterns. Okay.
Awesome.
The third one is called releasing toxic relationships and energy. This one should have $1 million price tag. I'm just telling you, it should have $1 million price tag, because when you start letting, well, how many of us have had toxic relationships? Holy shit. No kidding, right? Hello. If you've been alive on this planet, you've had a toxic relationship. And this is about really releasing, again, that pattern that runs in your circuitry that always tends to bring, you know, if you haven't learned it, if you haven't figured it out, and this is the thing. So many people have gone through, again, back to the essence of my work. So many people have gone through so many programs. I've done this. I've done this process. I've done that process. I've done this process. Yet they're still having the same experience. What my work seems to do, okay, and I've had thousands of clients with testimonials on this, if you have sufficiently learned the lesson, and I can't do anything if you really haven't got it, okay? But if you have learned the lesson, just like on a computer, you know, like your emails, if you hit delete, you think the emails are gone. And then you learn that, oh, you have to go empty the trash. And so then you go empty the trash and you think the emails are gone. No, they're still on the hard drive. I work at the hard drive level. And so this particular one, releasing toxic relationships and energy, if you have learned the lesson, if you have gotten it, this will take that program out.
That's amazing. That's
so that
amazing.
You don't have to keep redoing this same thing when you really did get it, but the loop's there. It still just seems to still stinking be happening because it's still on the hard drive. I work at the hard drive level.
Yeah.
To release that out of your system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing.
And then the final one on this, which you do after you've done the first three, is the reset for personal growth. And this helps to now upshift your whole system, kind of like going from a 2.0 to a 2.2. It just upshifts your whole system so that you can operate in a way without these old programs, the jealousy, the toxic relationships, those kinds of things still playing in your reality.
I love that. That's
Package.
That's powerful. And I just want to thank you for your service work on this planet at this time, because seriously, that's an incredible package. And I know it's a very generous package as well, right? Because I think it was at $197 and it's being discounted to $97 for the summit viewers. So that is that's 50% discount. That's a huge discount.
Like I said, the releasing toxic relationships and energy, I'm telling you, that one is worth its weight in gold. Just amazing. And the thing of it is you can go back, you know, these activations, if you don't feel like you fully have gotten it, 2 weeks later, go back and do it again. You may need to go through it multiple times, but every time it meets you where you're at. So you may have gone through and then whoop, 6 months later, oh shit, did I just let somebody in that I shouldn't have? Wait a minute. You can go back and reuse it, and it'll meet you where your energy is in that moment. I think that's brilliant. I didn't believe that for a long time, but it works that way, and I just think that's
awesome. It keeps them giving. It does. So 4 MP3s at around the 55 minute mark, something like that.
Yep.
For $97. A lot of reprogramming, a lot of repatterning, a lot of healing there.
A lot of healing there. Yeah. And healing to bring you back into that space of self-love and that sacred union.
Yes.
With you, your higher self, and divine source.
Yeah.
When you really have this sacred union with yourself, then you can really be a powerful change maker.
So true. You get your mojo back.
Get your mojo back, baby.
I love that. Thank you. And I have adored speaking to you again in this interview. You always give so much, are always so genuine, so frank, so upfront. And I love it. And it's refreshing. And that's why I keep on reconnecting with you, because I'm
so glad to be back. Thank you for having me back. It's just been wonderful, and I'm really just honored.
Yeah, thank you. So for all the viewers watching, I invite you to click on the link in today's email to go and check out Raquel's package, which is on her website. You can read more about it. And that is a phenomenal package. For $97, you're getting huge value there. So it is an absolute blessing to be able to create a platform to be able to give in this way. And I want to thank all of the viewers who have tuned into today's interview and heard Raquel's transmission. And of course, I will be with you very shortly again for another beautiful interview from another beautiful soul. But thank you so much to Raquel for today's.
Thank you, Ariel, for doing the work you're doing and spreading all this beautiful information worldwide.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. My absolute pleasure.